Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. So this is me trying to continue where I left off in the bakery shop building. So this will be part 3. So I'm going to open this one. And where did we stop? Okay, so we actually stopped by this sign over here. So what I'm going to do is just continue. And I am actually going to make this curve over here on top of the sign. So I think the best way would be to create a child node like that, and I'm gonna call it curves. And then within this curves I'm gonna add another child node, and I'm gonna call it wire. So I think I do have something called wire over here. So let's find it. We have pipe, but we don't have wire. Okay, we do have wire. Good. So now we're going to add this wire, and let's just add this one by dragging here. Now let's find this thing. Okay, so there it is. Okay, we see this. So we're just gonna move this one over here so that it will attach to the wall as well as being attached to the sign. Okay, so now we need to look at the image that this model is based on, and this image is the pixel art. So we're gonna have to drag this wire upwards and rotate like this. Alright, so I'm gonna move this closer to the wall. Okay, so this is just the first part of the curve. So now I am going to rotate it some more and move it to the wall. I'm gonna duplicate this thing, call it wire 2, and place it within this node, so it's gonna be parented. So click this, but the wire will be over here. So what I'm gonna do is just reset the position and the rotation. So I'm gonna move it down here, and then I am going to rotate like this. I think the wire over here is quite long, so I'm going to replace this with a much shorter one. So let's pick this wire. Maybe this is not, this is just thick, but I think a thick one will look good. So I'm going to replace this one with a thick one. Alright. Now this one says wire short slim. Maybe it will fit this one. Let's put it here. Oh, nice. But it's a bit too thin. So maybe this one will work. Perfect. So I'm just gonna move it down here. And I'm gonna move this one lower so that this wire will touch the sign. Alright, but I think I'm gonna rotate this thing some more. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna drag like that and move this downwards. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I am going to duplicate this wire 2, call it wire 3, and then parent it over here. I'm gonna reset the position and rotation. Okay, so now I'm going to rotate like that. Make it level, make it straight, horizontal. I think this one I'm going to replace this with wire 1. Nice. Very nice. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate this and call it wire 4. And then parent it over here. And then rotate, make it level. And bring it down. Place it over here. Now I think this is a bit too long, so I'm going to replace this with wire short. Place it over here, and perhaps I'll rotate this so that it looks much better, because this will be the start of the curve. So now moving it closer. And I'm going to duplicate this one and call it wire 5. Parent it over here into wire 4. Gonna move this closer and rotate like this. Alright, so that's done. It looks kind of weird actually. So I think we might need to change this. So I'm just going to rotate this, keep it level. And for this one, what I'm going to do is actually to duplicate this wire short, and I'm going to call it wire shorter. Do we have wire shorter? No, not really. So let's try that again. Clone model. Done. So we have wire shorter. I'm gonna place it over here. But because it's wire shorter, so you know my intention is to make it shorter by half. Alright, so now it's much shorter. So this is the pivot point. I'm going to place it over here to 0. Alright, done. Save it. Now let's get back to that. Now that we have this, I think this will look much better because it's shorter. So when we rotate this and have a couple of this, we can make a very nice curve. So this, I'm going to move it down, duplicate this and place it over here. Duplicate one more, call it wire 7, parent it in wire 6. This time round I'm going to rotate a bit more, duplicate this and call it wire 8. I'm going to parent it into wire 7, and there we have it, a curve like this. Maybe one more, call it wire 9 and move it over here. Nice. Now I think it would be good if we could curve this more. So I think a better way would be, let me think about this. I think let's just leave it as that, or maybe not. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna change this wire. I'm gonna call it wire 1 short. Yeah, let's clone this, wire 1 short. So let's get that wire 1 short, place it over here. Now let's make it shorter by half, 16. Now let's change the pivot point, make it to 0, click yes to save, and we have a very nice bit of a bent over here, so I'm going to rotate a little bit. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to duplicate this and call it wire 0. But now we have all these things, so I'm going to delete all this. Now this wire 0, all this will be parented in wire 0, but I'm going to reset the position and the rotation of this. Alright, we got wire 0, so I'm going to place it close to the wall, and this I'm gonna move it down here, but I'm gonna rotate like that. That's one part of the curve. Move it down here. Okay, good. Next, this one I'm going to rotate this like this, and I'm going to move it down. See this corner? You're going to have to place it right here so that both of this corner will touch each other at the tip. Alright. And now I'm going to rotate this some more so that this whole thing will touch the chain, the sign. Is it touching? Yeah, I'm gonna rotate this some more and rotate this like that, and maybe rotate this one like this. Alright, so now we have something of a curve over here. Alright, now let's make this nicer. Now this is supposed to be a chain, right? And we got a bread image. So now what we have to do is paint. So get this color and let's start painting. Alright, so this is the same color as this one. We need a new color, a darker gray. So let's paint like that. Something like this. Alright, something like this. Yeah, it should look like interlocking chains. Well, at least I try to make it look like one. Alright, so let's paint some more. This time around with a much darker gray. Paint it over here. Okay, like this. And then I'm gonna need much lighter gray, and I'm gonna paint here something like this. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm gonna paint this sign. So this sign, we need this color, so we need a lighter color so that we can paint the rim, so that it gives the illusion that light is striking on the sign and it is reflecting it. So we need the paint on this side at the top like that, and here. Alright, Next, we need a much darker color than this one, so let's add a new color and paint it here at the side. Now all this to create the illusion that there's some shadow going on. Now right now I'm doing the stippling so that this side will look like it has some texture, right? Makes it look more interesting rather than just flat colors. So you might want to get some tips from me. So you might want to add your own stippling like this. Now for stippling, what I do is just get the original color of the sign and then make a new color which is much darker, and just go ahead and stipple. That's it. Yeah. Alright, so I would like to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon actually. So as you can see, this is the list of patrons that I have. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to support this channel and support me, you can be my Patreon, and by going down to the link which I provided down below in the description box. So support me, and you know, it will go a long way. So alright, let's get back to the work. So now I've done this stippling. The next one that we want to stipple is the top part of the sign. So again, get the original color and make a new color which is a little bit lighter. So now let's begin stippling like this. Yeah, something like this will look quite good. Yeah, and we're done. Let's save that. Now let's have a look. So this is our sign, the shop sign, attached to the wall to the side of this building. I think it looks good. Yeah, and we have our lamp post over here. Alright, I think it looks good. Okay, so now what we need to do next is to find, well, not to find, but to create the, what do you call this, plant, right? Potted plant. Okay, now I can actually make from scratch. Now would I want to do it from scratch? That's another matter altogether. Let me think about this. Alright, let's do it from scratch. Alright, okay, potted plant. We're gonna do the potted plant which is on the right side. Would that be easier? Okay, so let's just do it. Okay, we already have a plant over here, so this will make things a little bit easier because I can duplicate that thing. Now let's go and find that plant in the library, and then we're gonna duplicate that, and let's call this plant tall. Alright, let's clone this model. So we got this plant tall, and let's put it over here. Alright, now let's okay, close all this. Inside this building node, let's create a child node, and we'll call it tall plant. Alright, so we have this tall plant. I'm gonna place it over here. I'm gonna move it out like this, like that. Nice. Alright, so now that we have it over here, now as you can see we have the green shrubs. We need to place the trunk below it. Yeah, so we actually need to make this plant bigger in size. So let's edit this thing and let's make the size bigger. Right now it is 32. Let's make this 64 and the height 64 will be good. Wow, it looks huge. Okay, I think it looks good. Okay, let's make this 64 as well. Alright, looking good. So now I'm just going to collapse and merge all these layers into one. Okay, so now I'm going to select all these and click copy and then click paste, and then I'm just going to place it over here, copy this whole thing, copy, paste, and place it over here. Do the same thing again, edit, copy and paste. Gonna place it over here. Nice. Copy this whole thing and paste. Place it there and wait, copy and select copy and paste and place it here. Copy and paste. Oops. Paste and place it there. Okay, it looks kind of weird right now because it looks quite a consistent pattern. We don't want that really, so let's just cut it all out. Okay, let's just copy this, edit, copy, edit, paste, place it below, edit, paste, place it on top, paste again, and place it on top, paste one more time, place it here. Okay, one more time, paste, and done. Alright, so we have a cube here. Well, that was a long exercise. We could have done this in a much easier way, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let's use this color, dark one, and just paste. I mean, not paste, but just paint it over like that, just at random, like this, so that, oh dear, we have this not so nice looking patch. Okay, let's cover that like this. We have some patches of dark green, so I'm just gonna cover it like this so that it doesn't look so uniform and regular patterns. We don't want that. We want randomness, right? Because randomness is what we see in nature, especially plants, leaves, leaf arrangements, and all these things. Okay, I think this is good enough. Okay, so next I'm gonna get this color and just start painting. like this. All right. Do I know what I'm doing? Maybe. Okay, we get this light color and start painting like this. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a bit too big. So I'm just gonna shrink it down right now to 32 by 32. How about that? Okay. So we got this. Yeah. Let's just paint it over. So now you're watching me do all these things real time, sort of, and you can see the mistakes that I did and then how I rectify it. Yeah. Okay, so now let's paint the flowers. Flowers are represented by this pinkish squares. Just gonna place it at random over here, like that. Not too big, not like this, but never mind, just leave it there. Okay, so this is mostly done. So we have one block like this, yeah. And remember the pivot point, just make sure this is like yeah, this is okay, right in the center. Okay, save. Alright, so we got one block of this plant. So let's duplicate this thing, yeah? And let's call it plant 1. And wait, okay, now this first tall plant, I've actually attached an object to this, right? Now let's unattach that, let's unlink, and now I'm gonna parent this thing into the tall plant. Okay, now we need to reset the position and the rotation. Alright, so we got this thing, yeah, and we need to place it on top over here. Let's duplicate this thing and call it plant 2. Oh, we can't, so let's press space and call it plant 2. Alright, let's put this thing up. I mean, within this node, I'm gonna reset this thing. And now, here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to rotate this thing like this. Alright, I'm gonna join this up and place it like this. Now let's duplicate this thing and call it plant number 3. Plant number 3, I'm going to attach it to here. So you see where this is going, right? So I'm gonna have a few of this, and I'm going to parent to each and every one of this thing. For this one, I'm going to rotate like that. Alright, so this one, I'm just gonna move it over here. This one, I'm gonna move it like that. So we're gonna have like a clump of blocks like this, And I think I'm gonna make one more and call it plant number 5 and parent into plant 4. Place it over here and here and bring it down over on this side. Good. So now we have a clump of blocks like this. Alright. Now that we have this, let's make, take note that the faces, the total number of faces that we have right now is 8644. Now this is a little bit too high. If you want to create an optimized model, you don't make all the trees, all the buildings, the lampposts, and all of those things into one model. So what you need to do is separate it all out into individual models, and then you put them all together later on within the sandbox game or within any other rendering 3D rendering software like Blender. But when it comes to that, I think the number of faces is actually matters more within the sandbox game. So try to be below 5,000 faces. Yeah, so take note of that. But for our purposes, I'm just going to create all of these in here, okay? Because we're not gonna put it into the sandbox game yet. So let's continue. This is our plant. We have big blocks like this, but now I'm going to duplicate this plant and make it smaller. So let's find this one. So we have this thing called plant tall. So let's duplicate this thing and call it plant small. And let's clone this thing. Right, so we have plant small. Let's edit this thing. Now we have a very convenient tool over here. This is the half size. This is called the double size. Now let's make it easier and make it half size like this. Now let's check the pivot tool and make sure it's all 0, 0, 0, or for this one it is 8. That means half of our length. That means the pivot tool will be right in the center. Perfect. Now we're gonna add that small plant just now. Let's find it. Plant small. Now let's create a new child node. Oops. Let's call it small 1. Okay, we got small 1 over here. This node. Let's add the plant small into here. So here you can see it over here. It looks good, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it over here, and I'm going to rotate like so and like so, and place it like this, so that it looks more, making the clump, the tree crown, have a little bit more texture like this, so that it doesn't look so blocky. Alright, let's duplicate this thing and call it small 2. Create the node and parent it into small 1. Now where is small 2? Oh, it's right over here. Let's just reset this thing. Okay, and place it over here. Alright, now let's rotate this thing and move it here. Good. Now let's duplicate this thing, call it small 3, parent it into small 2, and I'm gonna place it here like this. Alright, looks good. So let's see, what do we have here? Okay, now let's just make some adjustments to plant 5 because it's down below here. Alright, looks good. Okay, now that we have this thing, let's now do the trunk, shall we? Okay, let's create a child node and call it stem or trunk. Alright, now for the trunk, let's see, what do we have? Do we have something upright in the library? Let's find it. Something that is upright. We have this thing called a green diamond. Maybe that works. But before we do that, let's duplicate this and call it trunk. Now let's find this trunk. Here we are. And drag it into here. Nice position. Very good, this. Let's edit this thing. We're editing it in place so that we can actually see where the crown, the tree crown is. Okay, the first things we need to do is to highlight this thing and change the color. Why am I highlighting this? Okay, let's just edit, copy. Okay, now let's make it slightly bigger, yeah, and I think the size of 16 will be quite good. Alright, 16 over here, and the width, maybe let's make it 8. Is 8 good? Let me see. Oh, let's just make it 16 then. Okay. And alright, so now let's change the color of this. Okay. Now I'm not gonna make it taller because I'm gonna stack all these things, right? So that we have the flexibility, so that we can make it curved and so on. Okay, so done. So let's check the pivot tool, and for this it's set at 3, so let's change that to 8. Half of this, 16, and this one also 8, but for this set to 0, and we're done. Let's save that. Alright, so we have this. Now if you see, this is somewhat to the side, but that's okay. So let's duplicate this and call it trunk 2. I'm gonna parent this in trunk 1, but oh yeah, okay, it's here. It's good. Let's see this. Okay. Now let's do this. We're gonna make a curve. So we have to bend this over here and place it down like so. Alright, looking good. What do you think? Write down in the comments below, yeah? Okay, so let's duplicate this and call it trunk number 3. And I'm gonna parent it into trunk number 2. And let's duplicate another one and call it trunk 4. I'm gonna parent it under trunk 3, but this time around I'm going to rotate it to this side like this. Alright, I think it's good. Oh, not so. We need to make some adjustments. Let's move this down here and place it there. Perfect. Let's have another one, yeah? Call it trunk number 5 and put it here under trunk 4. We need to raise the crown a little bit. So, where is that? Here it is. Let's raise it up like this and raise up the small blocks over here as well. Let's put it over here. Alright, I think it looks good. Okay, you know, I think I'm gonna parent the small inside plant 1. Yeah, now I lost it. Oh, it's here. Okay, let's just make some adjustments and bring it down. Okay, let's move some. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna reset this thing. It'll be much easier. Okay, now move it like this and attach it like that. Alright, so I think this looks acceptable, I guess. Okay, right, now the reason why I parented and it's all within this plant 1, because this will then make it a lot easier to duplicate this whole group. Now I can call it plant B. Yeah. Now for plant B, I'm just gonna move it over here like this, and I'm free to do whatever I want to it. I'm gonna rotate this so that this part doesn't look that uniform, because you know, in real life all these plants, they don't have a uniform structure. They have a basic structure, you know, but they don't, it's all at random somewhat. Yeah. Okay, so we have this plant B. Now if you look at the pixel art, some of the leaves are here down below to the right side. So we're gonna duplicate that and place it there, down there. Now I'm gonna duplicate and call it plant C, and I'm just going to place it over here like that, and perhaps I could rotate like this, like that, yeah. And let's move it up closer like this. Oh, I lost it. Okay, let's move it like that. Alright, so now it's like drooping over here, down here. Looking good, yeah? Making some adjustments over here. And I'll probably bring down this small block and place it here. Alright, looking good. Okay, so that is the crown. Now let's make some more and place it over here. Okay, we got to duplicate this thing. We have plant C, so duplicate this and call it plant D, and let's place it over here. We need to make some adjustments, minor adjustments. Okay, so let's see how we're gonna do this. I think first we need to move this whole thing over to this side like that. Maybe not too far. I think we just need to make some adjustments to plant D. Let's raise it up like that, and let's move. You know what? I'm gonna replace all of these big blocks with small blocks. So let's go and find this plant small, and let's begin replacing them. Plant tall with plant small. And one more. Is that all? Alright, so it's all. Now all of these has been replaced. And now all we need to do is just bring it all down and close to the building like this. Let's make some adjustments, yeah? Alright, looking good so far. Place it close to the wall, but let's not block the window. So I'm gonna move this to the side like that, move it closer like that, and like this. Alright, so I'm gonna have parts of the tree and the leaves will be creeping onto the wall. Something like this. Alright, what do you think so far? Write down in the comments below. Okay, so I think it looks quite good so far. And that's it. Oh, before we go, let's make some textures on the tree trunk. We have this color, right? We're gonna have to make oh, we already have a slightly lighter shade of this, so let's do our stippling like this, like this. You know, tree trunks, they have lines, right, like that. So we have to stipple in that kind of general direction, lines like this. Alright, I think this is good. Okay, so a few more like that. Now we have this original color. We're gonna make a new color and make it slightly dark. Now we will draw the lines like this, close to the lighter color, something like this. I'm just doing it at random over here, but the general direction of this line drawing is like how you see it over here. It's just draw lines. That's all it is. Just draw lines. Easy, right? Yeah. Kind of enjoy this. Alright. Oh, don't forget the top as well. And the bottom. Although no one can see, but we can. So click yes to save. And now, can you see the texture? It looks a bit somewhat nicer now. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is the pot. So let's make the pot, but before that, let's check if we have any pot in the library. All these things I've made previously in the previous model, so that's why I have so many things over here. Okay, so I see a potted plant, but we just need the pot, so just gonna call it pot. Yeah, so we have this pot. I'm gonna edit this pot, but we're gonna delete all these green shrubs and leave the pot on its own like this. Click yes to save. And now we're gonna have this tree. What we're gonna do is create a child node and call it pot. Now let's drag that pot model. Oops, we have to expand this. And now we can place the pot over here. Very nice. I think we might need to make it a bigger size pot. So let's go ahead and make a big one. So for this, we have to extend this blue side maybe by half. No, yeah. Is there an easier way to do this? Anyway, let's increase the size to 32. And now we're gonna select all of this and click edit and copy, edit and paste. I'm gonna place it over here, and I think this is okay. Right at the edge, this rim. Alright, I'm gonna paste it again and place it in the center so that we don't have any gap over here. Alright, beautiful. So all that's left right now, all that is left is to delete this, like so, and this. Alright. And let's color this thing. Done. Easy. But before we do that, let's check. Okay, so we have this odd thing here. Yeah, let's color this white. And let's see. Alright, good. Top of this side, yeah. And this side. And let's raise this upwards, because this pot is actually tapering, right? So we did another copy of this thing. Maybe not. Let's just make some blocks, but we need the same color. Alright, so the color they've chosen is correct, and just draw, and I think that's good. Use the face tool and just click and draw one more, and use this block tool and draw like that, and use the face tool and paint, and that's it. I think it looks okay. Let's see whether it is correct. 1, 2, 1, 2. How about this side? 1, 2. Perfect. Alright, so we got this. Now maybe this side here, let's make it thicker. Alright, so just click, click, and click. We're done. We need a darker shade of this white, and let's paint like this. Alright. Now we're gonna make it look just like the pot in the pixel art picture that you see above me. Alright, let's paint this last bit over here. Draw straight lines like that. Oh, one more side over here like that and that. Okay, now we've got this. Maybe let's make it a bit darker like that. Alright, that's good. Now let's do our stippling. Now this bottom over here, I think it's okay. We draw a line like this and this, and now let's begin stippling to give it some bit of a shadow, bit of a texture like that. Looks good. Okay. Alright, looks good. Alright. So at the top here, just stipple a little bit, not too much, and we're done. Alright, what do you think? So now we have our tree in a pot. We need to raise this trunk a little bit higher so that just now we saw some Z fighting, because both of them, the trunk and the potted plant, somehow clash because it's in the same position. So this rendering software have some difficulty trying to tell which one they need to render. That's why you see it's always flashing. Alright, so we've just completed the curve for the sign, bread sign, and now we've just completed the tree with all these leaves. Alright, let me know what you think about this, and I will continue doing the rest of the items to make it as close as the image in this pixel art, but that will be in a new video. So until then, I wish you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.